Hello, my name is Richard Robinson, and I am a Doctor of Professional Studies student at Franklin University. Welcome to my project showcase for the course IDL 810 at Franklin. The instructor for this course is Dr. Lynn Lease. The title of the course is Innovative Learning Environment Design. This is my first semester at Franklin, and so far I am really enjoying being at this school. Luckily, I was able to transfer 24 credits into the program. In other words, I'm much farther along in the program than someone who's actually in their first semester, due to the acceptance of many of my former doctoral coursework credits. In addition, this PowerPoint presentation includes some brief descriptions of what happened during the empathize, define, ideate, prototyping, and testing phases of the project. Also, this PowerPoint includes images of the prototype that was created along with a snapshot of the actual test that was administered, and the PowerPoint and PDF versions of the prototype, along with an MS Word and PDF version of the test questions, will be attached to the submitted discussion thread for assignment 6.4. Finally, the project was completed at my wife's place of business, which is a small family-owned business that provides entertainment and staffing services to many local, national, and international companies, along with associations and non-governmental agencies. My wife is also an independent meeting planner, and this weekend she is a production manager for the Small Business Administration's annual conference at the Westgate Resort in Las Vegas. This section is about the empathy phase of the project. First, due to my illness, it was not possible for me to visit the working locations of the company or interview the staff in person. Because of this situation, 5 of the staff were emailed a 5-question open-ended survey that was sourced from an existing empathy report document. Unfortunately, only 3 of the staff responded in time. Moreover, the responses submitted by the staff did not even address the situation that the management observed. This was due to the fact that the 5 questions used in the interviews were from an empathy report template. And it wasn't until after the first 3 staff returned the responses that I realized that the questions used were too general. This is why their responses were not acceptable. The final empathy report revealed that the management believed that the staff did not know some basic information about the company and/or its policies. This realization occurred when one day a staff person called the office and asked what time she was expected to arrive at her designated location. There is a company rule stating that everyone must arrive 15 minutes before the scheduled start time, which has been in existence for 20 years, and for some reason this staff person did not know that information. Due to this observed gap in important company information with the staff, it was decided by the management that the workers, who are considered independent contractors by law, needed to be trained regarding some very important company information. Finally, the downside to this training is that the ICs must be paid for their training due to their independent status. If used, this cost must be included in the final budget for the product. The next phase of the project was the define phase. During this phase, the management got together and formulated the following problem statement and a brief description of the company's resources and constraints. These are the 2 most important parts of the design stage. The problem statement determined that a training tutorial was required, so information about the company, personal supplies, and some general rules could be taught to the learners. Further, The company's resources and constraints were determined. First, the company owns all of the technologies needed to build a learning environment. These include desktop and laptop computers, consistent availability of high-speed access to the internet, and Microsoft 365 programs. Unfortunately, the company does not have the available monetary resources for the purchase of a professional training program session. And because of this situation, the management decided that they will create an inexpensive PowerPoint presentation along with a paper orientation manual. The orientation manual will include the information that is included within the PowerPoint presentation. Finally, all of this work will be done in-house, and the manager is designated as the person who will lead that process. In the ideate phase, the members of the design team are charged with the task of coming up with ideas on how best to deliver the instruction. During the idea generation process of this project, another prototype option was expressed by a classmate during an in-class discussion. As mentioned previously, this extremely simple and cost-effective idea was to add a paper orientation manual to the mix of training material. This option was agreed upon by the management team during their brainstorming session. Also, out of the brainstorming session, the management brought up the possible use of the on-the-job training method as one of the solutions. However, this idea was quickly quashed by the team due to the excessive cost involved in employing this method. This is because an additional staff person would need to be hired in order to train the person. The cost for this would be between $20 to $25 per hour, with at least 4 hours of training needed. Next, in the prototype phase, the manager decided on using the two best ideas that were generated during the ideate phase. These ideas were the development of a training PowerPoint presentation along with a paper version of the PowerPoint. This was used as the orientation manual. The PowerPoint created used a very simple design. For instance, the background consisted of two colors, blue and white, with square objects. Graphical representations were used and not photographs. The same fonts were used throughout, and it did not include any narration. The following page are some of the actual images of the PPT prototype. Finally, during the testing phase, in which the owner and manager participated, the results revealed that the PowerPoint presentation was effective in delivering the information to the learner. In fact, the participant scored 100% on the test. Also, after the participant completed the test, she suggested that the following changes should be made to the PowerPoint training prototype and the written test. First, the owner pointed out that for question 5, there is no correct answer listed. In other words, none of the answers had the option for a W9 as the answer, which was the correct answer. This mistake was changed before the test administering continued. Second, a participant mentioned that the test was too easy. This was intentional in the design because the goal of the product is for learners to easily encode the information into long-term memory. In a training situation, the important thing is that the trainees incorporate the knowledge. It is not a competition. Third, the participant stated that the image used to highlight the use of wearing red lipstick was too evocative and should be replaced. Fourth, she mentioned that the graphic used for the black fishnet stockings was not indicative of what was required. She said that we should replace that graphic with one that was more representative of what was needed. Finally, the following are 2 photos of the actual test. That is the end of the presentation. Once again, thank you for participating, and we hope you have a great day.